Hello and welcome to my channel Neuland Yoga. I'm Katja and this is a functional yoga practice for the lower back that you can do whenever your lower back feels tight, tired, sore, or just uncomfortable. You need one yoga block for your practice. If you don't have blocks at home, you can also take a folded blanket or a thicker towel. Let's lay down on the back. Take your block or your blanket with you. Keep your knees bent, your feet about hip distance apart. And then just take a moment to feel the back of your body touching the floor. Let the back of your head become heavy, the backs of your shoulders. Notice your lower back, how it is feeling in that specific shape here, in that specific pose. Feel the feet nice and anchored, nice and grounded. Take a moment here to arrive for your practice and allow yourself to take that time out of your day to take care of yourself. And then bring your awareness back to your lower spine, your lower back. There should be a tiny gap now between the lowest vertebrae and the floor, so a natural curve or a natural arch. With your exhale, press the lower back into the floor, so flatten that arch and gently draw your navel down towards your spine, towards your back body. With your inhale, arch the lower back again, so lift and create that gap underneath the lowest vertebrae. Exhale, press the lower back down, draw the belly towards your spine. Keep going with those pelvic tilts and explore the movement and the sensations in your lower back. With your exhale, press it down. With your inhale, arch it. And after the first few rounds, try to make the movement a little bit bigger. So arch a little bit more. And then press the lower back down and start to roll the sacrum and the lowest vertebra up and away from the floor. Do a couple more rounds here. Maybe again make the movement bigger. And then finish one more round, and the next time keep the backs of your hips on the mat and find the natural arch of your lower spine for a moment. And just notice again how it is feeling. And then please grab your block or your blanket. Keep your feet and knees about hip distance apart. Press into the feet, lift your hips and slide your prop underneath the sacrum, which is a little bit lower than the lowest vertebrae. So there is a bony shelf located underneath the backs of your hips. That's where you want to place the prop. And then let your hips become heavy. Let your lower back hang freely, like in a little hammock. Keep your feet anchored on the floor, keep your knees bent, and take a couple of slow, deep breaths here. How is this specific shape, supported bridge pose, feeling for you? Take a long, deep inhale. With your exhale, lift your feet and draw your knees into your chest, and you probably have to adjust the block. I have to slide it a little bit higher towards my mid-back so that I can still keep my hips comfortably on top. And then hug your knees in. Give yourself a gentle squeeze there. You can keep your knees together or you can open them. Notice how the lower back is rounding and stretching. Maybe you can feel a little bit of extra space there. Feel free to stay here, or if it feels nice, you can stretch both legs up towards the ceiling into waterfall pose. Keep your hips nice and heavy, resting on the block. Stretch the legs up, but you can keep the knees bent if you need to. And then try to find that sweet spot where the legs are exactly resting above your hips here. So you can let the legs become heavy and they feel supported. So there is not much muscular effort needed to hold the pose here. Let's stay for a couple of breaths. If the legs become too heavy, you can always come back with your knees close to your chest. Take a nice long deep inhale here. With your exhale, now without using your hands, bring your knees back into your chest. Keep them close to your chest, hold again for a moment. And then from there, start to circle your knees around, bring them out to one side, forward, over to the opposite side and back into your chest. So start moving the hips and the lower back and give yourself a gentle massage, rolling the backs of your hips and the lower back on the block there. You can draw small circles or you can make the movement bigger. Find something that feels interesting, beneficial, or just good. And then switch direction with your circles here. Bring your knees back into your chest. Keep the right knee where it is, close to your right shoulder and chest. And then stretch the left leg out on the floor. And if you can, interlace your fingers around the right kneecap, or you can also grab between your calf and your thigh. Now, make your arms and shoulders heavy and let the right knee sink down to your chest or shoulder. Take a moment to find out if your lower back is happy here. You might have to adjust your block a little bit. And also notice if the sensation in your left leg feels good. If it feels too intense, you can feel a tugging or pulling on the lower back or inner hip. You can bend your knee and place the sole of your left foot back onto the mat. Now let's stay here for a couple of breaths. With your arms and shoulders still heavy. Your face, your throat, your neck relaxed. And your breath nice and active, but still smooth and gentle. Last couple of breaths here on the first side. Take a deep inhale. With your exhale, release your right leg. Place the sole of your right foot back onto the mat, bend your knee, and then also rebend your left leg and place your left foot flat onto the mat. Take a moment to feel both sides, legs, hips, both sides of the lower back. And maybe you can feel a little bit of a difference. Maybe one side feels more alive or longer or more open or just different. Let's switch sides from here. So bring your left knee to your left shoulder. Grab whatever you can grab there. Maybe interlace your fingers or grab between calf and thigh. And then if you like, stretch the right leg out on the floor. If it's too intense or too strong of a sensation, you can always rebend the leg, or you can bring the foot closer to your block or blanket so it's not extended, just a little bit bent. Once you have found the position that works for you, let arms and shoulders become heavy again, so the left knee sinks down and deeper to your chest and shoulder. And without creating any unnecessary tension there, relax your throat, your neck, the back of your head. Let your breath flow freely through the body here. And again, let's hold in stillness for a couple of breaths. Last couple of breaths here. Take an extra deep inhale, fill your lungs. With your exhale, release your left leg, place the sole of your foot back onto your mat. Rebend your right knee, anchor through the right foot. Come back into your supported bridge pose and see again how everything is feeling, how both sides are feeling now. And then from there, lift both feet again and bring your knees right above your hips. Keep your calves away from your thighs, about 90 degrees. Flex the ankle so the toes face the ceiling and the soles of your feet face forward. Press the lower back into the block so it's flat on the block. Draw the belly in. You can rest your hands on your belly or you can place your arms on the floor. And then take a deep inhale here. And with your exhale, Bring the back of your right heel down onto the mat in front of you without straightening the leg. Keep it bent. Touch the floor, feather touch with the back of your heel. And with your inhale, bring the right knee up, right above your hips again. Exhale, breathing, lower the left heel and touch the floor. Keep the knee bent. Inhale, bring the knee up. Exhale, lower the right leg, tap the floor. Keep going at your own pace with your own breath. Move very slowly and controlled without using any momentum. Keep the lower back flat on the block. Keep the belly engaged by drawing it in. And feel that nice internal heat that you're creating. A little bit more pulsation in your inner hips. Maybe you can feel it around the navel. Maybe a little bit in your lower back. Make sure it still feels supported though, so there shouldn't be any pulling or tucking. Make sure you're breathing. And for the last couple of rounds, if you want to add a little bit more of a challenge, you can start to move the heels further away from you. Maybe even straighten the leg now and then touch the floor again with the back of your heel. Finish both sides. And then from there, relax your feet, hug your knees back into your chest. You can use your hands or you can keep your arms on the floor. Soften your belly. Let the lower back round and lift. Then inhale here. With your exhale, place your feet back onto your mat. Anchor through the heels and the balls of your feet. And then press into the floor. Lift your hips just enough that you can slide your prop out. Let your hips sink down, roll down vertebra by vertebra. Once you're there, open your feet as wide as your mat is and rock your legs and knees a couple of times from side to side in a windshield wiper movement. Next time, come back to center. Keep your knees lifted, your feet wide, and then bring your inner knees together and let the legs support each other. Bring your awareness back to your lower back and notice the natural arch, that little gap between the lowest vertebrae and the floor. Let the backs of your hips become heavy, soften your buttocks. Let the back of your head, your shoulders, your arms and hands become heavy. If you like, close your eyes or find a focal point on the ceiling. And then take a moment of rest here. Let everything settle, become still for a couple of breaths. And if you like to stay a little bit longer here, feel free to stay. If you're ready to head back into your day, blink your eyes open. Hug your knees into your chest one more time. Maybe rock a couple of times from side to side or draw a couple of circles with your knees. And then roll to one side and from there slowly come up and come into a comfortable seated position. Sit nice and upright. Let your sit bones or maybe your shins or your feet, whatever is touching the floor here, let it anchor. You can close your eyes again if you like. Stretch the crown of your head up. Relax your shoulders. Place your hands onto knees or thighs. And then just notice how the whole spine, including your lower back, is feeling here. Maybe you can feel a little bit more length or ease. Maybe, again, a little bit more pulsation or life. And then take a nice long deep inhale into the full length of your spine, up into the crown of your head. If you exhale, blink your eyes open if they are closed. I hope that was helpful and your lower back feels softer and more aligned. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm looking forward to practicing soon with you again.